Let me get to Art out of Ohio. Art, what's up?
Hey, man. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. Good to hear from you.
Man, I got to check back in with you, man. I mean, Jesse ain't in this afternoon or this morning. I had to call in on you and make sure you was all right, buddy.
Right on. Appreciate that.
Okay, so check this out. Who was that young lady that just called in sounding all extra ghetto fabulous?
That was Queen Key 2.0. Not to be confused with Queen Key, the real one.
Okay, well, I'm going to need for her, if she going to be calling herself a queen, I'm going to need for her to step her intelligence level up, man, because she embarrassing us, man.
How's she embarrassing you?
Us. She sound like she out there doing her nails and eating watermelon and chicken and talking to her girlfriends around a barbecue pit or something, man.
What's wrong with that?
Because she ain't making no damn sense.
That's how most of them sound,
Joel has something to say about that.
That's how most of the women sound, though. That's how most of the black people sound and act.
Well, yeah, I know that stuff, but my thing is this, we know all these independent women seem to have lost the knowledge that back in the day when the Revolutionary and Civil War was going on, they had to cook for the soldiers. Most of you females fight the queen. Most of you females fight the queen. Y'all already self-eliminated yourself. Y'all don't even know how to cook.
That's true.
Fair point.
That ain't happening.
But hey, Art, you don't have to be embarrassed because they don't represent you.
Oh, I know that, but it's sad because I know some of everybody. I mean, you got people you might have a blood sister. Everybody, I mean, some people might have the same blood as you and your family, but they don't mean they have the same intentions with the good intentions that you had. Vice versa. I know she might not be my people, but when I see people like that look like me, it messes me up because I know that they're not supposed to be on that level. And I know they part of the ones, most of the people that's gonna be will end up in hell, man, because they lost. They don't know they mouth from their butt.
But
you know what I mean?
All right. To be honest, I don't even think they usually even think of it like that. Meaning, like when they look like you, then you kind of feel a certain way about it. Because my skin color looks black. You know what I mean? But I really, and I'm fortunate that it's this way. Can care less. I don't even see them as being a part of me, you know what I mean, or look like me. Yeah. When I see them acting crazy, I mean, it just is what it is. Because when you identify with it in that way, then you feel some type of way because you think that it's their reflection of your kind or your color. But that stuff is really irrelevant.
Yeah, don't identify with them just because they're black.
Yeah,
you're gonna get. You're gonna get overly angry. What do you say?
Who is that, Joel? That's the black guy, ain't it?
That's Joel.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not sure.
Right on. Hey, Art, appreciate you, man.
So quick question, real quick. I'm gonna run it by you real quick again or whatnot. So with all this independent female stuff or whatnot, so let's just hypothetically say, let's not fearmonger, I ain't trying to scare nobody. Or let's say that we do go into a World War III. I think that you females picked the perfect time to be trying to stand up and be some feminists and try to play a man's game, because I'm pretty sure when this war go off, a lot of you females that think y'all ready for a war, you're not. You see what I'm saying? And you ain't ready for the smell of death. You ain't ready to see a whole bunch of bodies get blown apart. So it's sad to say that, man, the devil got y'all confused, and it's so lost, man, that y'all signing up and trying to be men when some of the men ain't even really men. They ain't even ready for war.
That's true.
Let alone y'all not made for that, man. But you gonna see though. You gonna see, and before it's too late, you gonna look back and you gonna remember this phone call that you heard me on, and you gonna remember the Most High Father God. You ain't got to kneel to me, but you gonna kneel to somebody, and it's gonna be Him. Hey, y'all have a good rest of the evening. God bless y'all too.
Appreciate you, Art. Thank you, man. What was that?
No, I'm just going to add to a point that he said really quick, if I can.
Yeah.
Is that, he's right in the sense that, women want to so bad take on this role of being like men. and especially in the law enforcement, they want to be these police officers, but they're also being scored at a lower rate, so they're not even as qualified as a man should be in order to do the job. And it's not like the test is like they're not being trained to be an officer, but at the same time, if the scores are lower,
right,
they're not at the proper qualifications to do what's right. And not only that, a cop is a cop, and when they're in the streets and they're doing they're patrolling, and then they see a criminal, a cop has to jump in, and a woman cop necessarily cannot do the things that is needed against a male criminal.
Right.
If they're on crack, they're on drugs, they're strong.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And their size is up and down. So it's like, there's things, if you're going to let women in, at least let them be, which I don't agree with, but at least let them make the same standard as a man, which is they would always fall short. But don't cheat the test lower, so that way they have a better chance if they're going to be out there, but it's just not the reality.
Yeah, you're right. I think I know more female friends / classmates / people, people in my circle of friends from high school and stuff who became cops than males. It might be neck and neck. It's like there are a lot of female officers now. It's a shame.
It's insane, and you see video after video of people
taking the gun from her, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. Or she chokes and shoots the guy,
right.
like in Tulsa. I don't know if she was necessarily wrong. That guy was acting a little erratic, but yeah, it's a good point. Let me get to Greg out of Dallas, Texas. Greg, are you there?
Hey, Hank, I'm here.
Hey, good to hear from you.
I wanted to respond to Queen Key. And Queen Key. But first, I heard Joel just talking about the women being police, and I think he made a great point, because I have 2 daughters, and we were sitting down talking one day, and they brought up being a police officer, and I said, why would you want to be a police officer? And they brought up that that they see some women police officers, or they like to be detectives. I said, when God first designed the world, he didn't make it for women to have to protect.
Right.
I said, women are doing it now. I said, because men are leaving them. I said, but that's why I'm showing you the good example that men are here to protect you. So I said, I don't want you to have to do a man's job. I said, that's for men to do. I said, now, it's different other jobs where you can help the man. I said, maybe if you want to be the operator, or you want to help be in the office to help them see things. She was like, well, yeah, I like to do that too. I said, well, yeah, I said, but you don't need to be out there with a gun out there trying to protect anyone, because that's not a woman's responsibility.
Yeah.
And she understood. Just people don't tell women that, and they out doing things that set for a man. I mean, even in the Old Testament, the women stayed home when Joshua brought all the men out to go fight the war. That they came back home. It was unheard of for women to have to fight. So it's not a downgrade on them. It's just that it's not your role to have to do that.
Yep. It's like crazy, Greg, because I think a lot of women miss the fact that there's such a huge and important responsibility for, a job for women to if they're wives, if they want families and their wives to be at home. And it's like a huge, it's an important job that women kind of don't understand how important it is and how much they're needed. But instead, they're taught to be jealous of the jobs that men are out doing when, the women are needed, they're needed at home. You know what I mean? And I mean, if they don't get married and don't want a family, I understand you go out and get a job. But like, I agree to your point. There's certain jobs that women can do that, would be fine for a woman to do and not be out, doing the dirty work that was made for men. But a lot of women miss the importance of, staying at home and taking care of the house responsibilities. That it's an important job that, shouldn't be overlooked.
Right. And on to Queen Key. I mean, first, everybody knows she black.
Yep.
But I'm black too. But I think sometimes black people try to ghettoize everything. She's talking about we over there, they got a cap back because we cap back. I mean, at least know what you're talking about, because the U.S. Embassy that means first the man attacked the U.S. embassy, so we not over there by them. That's our bought soil. That's U.S. soil in another land. That's the point of calling it an embassy. So that's our ownership.
Yep.
So it's not that we are in his hood. He attacked our hood. So the ghettoizing for Queen Key is like if you let your girl borrow your dress. It's not her dress. It could be in her house, but she better not blow up your dress because it's not her.
Yeah.
She better not tear up your dress because it's not hers. You just let her use it. It's in her house, but it's still yours. It's still our soil, and when he came to attack our soil, we got to respond from our base. So it was a defense. I don't know why people on Trump. He's protecting the country, letting the man know you can't just mess with us like that. And everybody knows what an embassy means. So I'm just saying, you can't ghettoize everything. At least know what you're talking about.
Good point, Greg. Yeah, and Queen Key 2.0, you do not want Nancy Pelosi for president. A woman should not be president.
Oh, no.
Especially not Nancy Pelosi. No. I appreciate it, man. Good call.
All right, thanks, y'all. All right.
Thank you. Let me get to, this might be an interesting call. Rich from Palmdale, California. Rich, how are you?
Yo, what up, Hake?
Hey, good to hear from you.
And Joel.
Hey, man.
Hey, I'm a fan of this show. I've been watching you guys. I've been wanting to call. I just got the number.
Nice. Right on.
I just wanted to ask you guys a few questions for both of y'all.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous, too, so, hey, pardon me.
It's Friday.
Man.
It's Friday. That means get it off your chest.
I want to ask you guys, do you guys use regular toothpaste or fluoride-free toothpaste?
I use regular. What does fluoride do?
Toothpaste? What about you, Joel?
Regular, I believe.
Okay, because you guys know there's poison in that toothpaste?
Oh, interesting.
I heard something like that. I heard they even put fluoride in the tap water. And I drink tap water. Maybe that's what's wrong with me.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Interesting.
It's very poison, and it poisons your third. It decalcifies your third eye.
So you can't focus. You can't focus or see clearly. I've heard that before. You know who told me that was my former co-host, Esteban. Out of Esteban, our Esteban, not the one in Arizona. Yeah, he told me he heard that as well. That and your third eye is supposed to be right here. It's something like, I don't know. Is it like who came up with that thing, that term third eye?
Nobody came up with it. It's the pineal gland, but people call it the third eye.
Pineal gland? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
and basically it like when you use fluoride, it builds up, I guess, metal in your pineal gland, and it blocks it and it closes it. And your pineal gland is what produces like serotonin, that feeling of like when you drink coffee, and that's that feeling of dopamine. That's what your pineal gland produces.
Oh.
Hey, Rich, question. And you don't have to answer, but it's up to you. Do you smoke?
Do I smoke?
Weed, pot.
Yeah, I do.
I can always tell when the certain type of the way questions are laid out, a person who smokes are the things that they think about. So so you say you do smoke?
He sounds
yeah, a little bit here and there. No.
Usually smokers. The reason why I say is because usually smokers care about those little things that are hang up, and I mean it's a good point. Nobody wants no metal in their
pineal gland or third eye.
Right. But
I don't know if I believe in the third eye. That sounds like Hindu or something, or New Age or something. But maybe there's a true thing, and then this is like an imitation explanation of it or something.
Right.
I don't know.
An imitation, you said?
Yeah, like an imitation. You know how the world likes to describe reality, but they misdescribe it, such as they call things racism, right? When whites hate blacks, they call that racism. Or when whites hate Hispanics, they call it racism. That's like a false description of reality. I feel that I suspect, although I don't know much about it, that this pineal gland, the third eye thing, is like a false description of what reality is, but there is something real to it, but there's also lies mixed in with it. That's my suspicion.
And to be honest, to go off that, a lot of people who talk about third eye and chakras. And
keep your chakras open. I was going to ask you if you keep your chakras
all those
open.
People that, and not saying that this is you, but a lot of people who do talk about that, just a heads up, are ones who are like really into the smoking or the shrooms, the drugs, because there is like an alternate reality that you go into from experience. Back in the day,
I hear you hating, Joe, but no imitation over here. What I'm saying is the truth. The pineal gland is basically, everybody has a pineal gland, the third eye, but I'm a Christian, by the way. I'm a Christian. I'm not trying to be fake woke or nothing, but
I know.
Everybody has a pineal gland, and
yeah, I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying they don't, man.
Remote viewing? Like
say that again?
Remote viewing?
Who?
Have you ever heard of remote viewing?
Remote viewing?
Yeah.
No, and it doesn't sound like something that I would want to get into. It's like out-of-body experiences?
No. I'm sure, like, people in the chat know what I'm talking about.
Some of them might. Yeah.
Yes. Well, Christians, there's some Christians that might say that the pineal gland is, like, evil. Like, it is like a portal to the spiritual realm. And I have tapped into that realm.
Yeah.
And I've had, like, real spiritual experiences that if I talk about it, you guys probably won't even believe me. You guys probably be like, oh, he's on pot or something.
But
when you even, like, when you smoke weed, it kind of, to an extent, it opens up your pineal gland, and you can go to, like, the spiritual realm even on weed. But the pineal gland, have you ever heard in the verse in the Bible where it says, or not the verse in the Bible, the Sermon on the Mount of Jesus, where he says, your lamp, if your eye is full of light, then your whole body will be good, or something like that.
Right.
There's some people who say that that's like a metaphor for the pineal gland.
Well,
like,
what I want to say, Rich, because we're coming to a break real quick. What I want to say is that you want to stay away from that stuff, to be honest, because that stuff is not light. That little thing that you said, that portal that goes into the spiritual realm, I understand that, but it's all evil. Yeah. It's all evil because it's all straight knowledge of just the spiritual realm of the knowledge of good and evil, which is all Satan. So it seems like it makes sense and it's deep, and it's like, it seems like you're getting some sense of enlightenment.
But pot gets you high. You want to be clear-minded. Anyways, man, I appreciate it, Rich. Nice call. Thank you, man. Let's talk again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel, for
thank you.
helping that out. All right, guys, we'll be back in a moment.